All right. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 fucking 2. Can you hear me in the chat? Can you hear me in the back? Can you hear me in general? Let me know. Sound off if you can hear me before we even get into this. I don't want no interruptions. Turn up the volume. Got you. How about now? Oh, shit. I'm low. There we go. Glad we got that situated. I'm going to keep turning it up. Let me know when it's too loud or if it's good. Just let me know. I'm already turning it up. Let's see. Dun, dun, Let's see here. We good? Still low? Good? One's in the chat. We good? One's in the chat. Let's see it. One's in the chat if it's good. Let me know in the chat. One's in the chat. All right. I see chat. All right. I see thumbs up. See ones. Okay, here we go. All right, we all right. What's up? What is up? What is going on? Hope you're doing well. All right, so we got some news. Your boy got to tell. But first, before I do that, what's up to everybody in the chat? I see my boy J-Dub's in the chat. Yo, this man, let me find out J-Dub turned into the ghost who walks, because I barely see this fool. Nah, hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you. Good to see you, my brother. Envy, what's going on, my brother? Rob, good to see you. We got T-Easy, what's going on? Mass Produce, what's good? Let's see who else is in here. I'm going through here. We got my boy Sean up in here. Butch, yo, what's going on, brother? We got Michael Williams. We got Ari. That's another face I haven't seen in a while. What's going on? What's going on, man? Hopefully, hope what's his name's doing well over there with his channel. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Good dude. And it's your boy Mac. All right, what's going on? What up, Wheezy? All right, so, man, we got some breaking news. I'm pretty sure you already heard the damn news, so it's not even like a big surprise. I've already seen this. My boy Jack Move already running his victory lap in regards to this. Me, I'm just chilling. You know, I'm legit chilling. I'm just taking it all in, so to speak, because there's just a lot, to unpack in regards to it, how I feel. But, to all of you that just been waiting for this particular moment, for me to tell it like it is, I mean, listen, one thing about me, man, I ain't gonna never sugarcoat anything. I always tell you how I feel. If I stand on something, I stand on something. If I feel a certain way, I feel a certain way. Just how it is. Now I'm gonna tell it. I'm always gonna be honest about how I feel. That being said, I made a post a couple days ago on Twitter. In regards to this post, I flat out said, yo, if Sony is indeed reversing the policies, before I even drop another video, or in this case, do a live stream, I'll flat out admit that I'll hold the L. So here it is. Let's just move over there for a second. Breaking news, courtesy of Bloomberg. Sony is officially pulling back from PlayStation games on PC. Now, it's not 1,000% back, which has many people questioning some, certain decisions, right? It's not 1,000% back, but we do have the confirmation that we are getting Sony to move back. Okay. So let's just read this real quick, and then I'll get this here. It says, again, pulling back from PC, online games like Marathon, Marvel Tokon will still be released as, on multiple platforms, but single-player games like Ghost of Yotei and Sorrows will remain PS5 exclusive. More on that in a second. All right, so with that being said, I officially hold the L. I say in front of all of you, I hold the L. There you go. I hold the L. Especially with the way things are going in this industry. Oh, yeah, I went all in that Sony was going to follow suit. But anyway, I'm going to go right ahead and get into my thoughts about this and really recap how much of a waste this generation has felt in the midst of leading up to this one particular moment. I ain't going to hold you. This one particular moment, granted, it sounds good for the OGs. You know, I see J-Dub, you know, J-Dub excited. Everybody, you know, everybody's excited to an extent. But I'm going to keep it a buck with you. The fact that it took 6 years, like we went through 6 years of arguably some of the worst decision-making in PlayStation, not just in terms of handling their studios, but just the way they handled the community to get to here. It really is. Like, yo, it's really, really, really weird. For the past 6 years, we had Sony make some of the dumbest decisions inhumanly possible. From raising prices of the console, raising prices of subscription services, controllers, everything of that nature. For them canceling studios and multiple games that we were looking forward to. Oh, yeah. I have a lot to say in regard. What up, David? What's going on? But it's like, yo, I don't even know how to process this. I really don't know how to process this shit. Yeah, this is great. This is great. Cool. You know, for y'all that wanna that champion exclusive, this is great and all. But me personally, I'm looking at the situation. It's like, bro, we lost so much ground in the midst of this decision, this ultimate decision that they just made in regards to them going back to, you know, quote unquote, the roots. Games like Faction still have been canceled. Twisted Metal have been canceled. Games that I broke the news with you guys multiple times on this channel about, like Resistance, is also canceled. So we're going backwards, right? The industry is essentially going forward where they're going towards an all ecosystem type of approach where everybody has options. You know, they have free choice. And Sony's going backwards in regards to, you know, the old school regime. Now, again, some of y'all just want the old school regime, and that's fine. I understand. But it's like, yo, the damage that has been done to PlayStation in the midst of leading up to this will be studied. It absolutely will be studied. The fact that Media Molecule, and I'm not even throwing shade at the developer. I think Media Molecule is cool and all, but the fact that Media Molecule actually survived the purge, but studios like Blue Point Games went bye-bye, is crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me. We've seen studios go bye-bye that we haven't even seen the game for. They just went bye-bye. That's just crazy. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this, man. Let's get into this. PlayStation going back to the roots, so to speak. And I say that with a very, very, you know, I say that with a side eye. So I looked at the, information that was coming out of this. You know, this is from Bloomberg again. In the article itself, they flat out said from numerous people who didn't want to be named because they didn't have, obviously, the right to say it, to share the information. You know, they said that, obviously, you know, you're still going to have the live service games go to PlayStation, PC users, excuse me. Here's the thing about these live service games. These live service games, I already know what's going to happen in regards to this in terms of how the PC community is going to react. In fact, you already see it on Twitter. A lot of the PC community is flat out telling you they're not going to support it. It's like, dog, you're not going to go all in with the way you go about it. And that's a point I'm going to lead to in this too. Because, you know, I've seen people comparing the sales of all the games. Like, they'll take all the games combined, right? And they'll put those against the PC, the limited amount of PC releases that we had, so to speak, and go, well, you know, these games didn't do this, that, and the third, Big Clout. And I would always laugh at that because it's like, yo, you're comparing like all these other games combined to one game and whatnot. And keep in mind, too, Sony didn't even release these games at the peak of their hype. So it's like, you know, personally, I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know. Blue Point Games, man, that one hurts, man. That was like the studio that made me like literally drop everything. Blaze in the chat. Blaze can attest to this because literally we were like, okay, all these games on PlayStation look great and everything. You know, the Miles Morales look sick and everything. You can go back and look at my reactions to the PS5. You know, I was locked in. PS5 reveal, everything. I was so excited. Everything looked fire for what Sony was doing with PlayStation 5. So I was all in. But everything that we got from PS5, right? I'm like, yo, okay. One game out of all those games was the one that made me, I just gotta pull that trigger. That was Demon Souls. Demon Souls was that damn good. I was like, yo, we're gonna get part 2 or we're gonna get something else from the studio. I couldn't wait to see what else they were working on. And then we got confirmation that Blue Point Games did pitch Bloodborne, but Bloodborne was ultimately denied, not from PlayStation, to my surprise. It wasn't denied by PlayStation. It was denied by the actual studio itself. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy. Because I'm like, how do we not get Bloodborne 2 or a Bloodborne remake, but we get shit like Destruction All-Stars? We get shit like the Concords. And I'm not even throwing shade at Concords. I'm not throwing shade at it. I'm just saying, like, how does shit like that pass testing? How does that get passed and get the green light? How does a Horizon Hunters Gathering get a fucking passing? But games that we all been collectively excited for and hyped for do not get the passing. It was just a lot of frustration going on to this. And keep in mind, too, right? Keep in mind, with everything happening and the way Sony's just been moving, it's just like, yo, there's still more questions than answers. There's a lot more questions than answers. And I don't know. They're going back. So, where single-player games might not drop on PC day one, okay? So I already know how the PC community might, or how you guys might think the PC community might be feeling about it, because you guys are seeing a lot of comments. Here's the thing. I want you to take this to mind. What about the PC community and how they're actually, feeling towards this news? A lot of the PC community, in fact, the majority of them don't necessarily care that the PlayStation games are not dropping day and date on PC. I want you to understand that. I want to get that on record. They don't care that it's not dropping day and date in terms of like the single-player games. They don't care. Here's what they absolutely care about. It's the fact that, yo, you put all this time and effort and resources into literally catering to that side for 6 years. And nobody can deny this. Nobody in this chat can deny it. For 6 years, PlayStation gamers have literally been given the shaft, in a sense, for PC gamers. Everything we have to pay for, they don't have to pay for with online, everything of that nature. They don't have to do that. We were getting upcharged more and literally we're getting significantly less in the long run. We got more, like fucking canceled games than anything. So this is why a lot of the reactions you're seeing are the way they are. It's not people upset that single player games are not coming. It's more just like, yo, you guys are missing up a golden opportunity to make this money. And why do I say that is this? Because there's been reports saying that Sony's, financials or a lot of these games, quote unquote, didn't perform. And, I low-key was like, yo, it's funny because it's like, yo, on some real shit, if you just look back at one particular game, and that was Helldivers 2, that game is a perfect example of what happens when you strike when the iron is hot. I've always said that on this channel, even leading up to me believing day and day was inevitable. I even went on Coke Classic K's channel, yo. I swear to God. I went on Coke Classic K's channel like a couple of days ago, and I said, yo, the way Sony's moving, I swear to God, because Sony's not taking any more, like Sony can't keep taking these L's with these live service games. I thought I said, listen, if Marathon fails, which I hope to God it doesn't, but if Marathon fails, yo, you're going to see Sony flat out say day and day is happening. That's just how the mood shifted, how things were going in regards to PlayStation. And it was so unpredictable and how they were going about just making their decisions. But I understand. Let me see here. Hold on. Give me a second. My bad. I'm moving on. I'm a little rusty, so give me a second. Super chat. Okay, I got you. Shout out to Gamer Live Studio. He said $10 super chat. He says it's crazy. You see Shift Up, Arrowhead, Square Enix. All of them are going to be going multi-platform, and they're watching Capcom making bank. Not Sony going PC is not enough to save Blue Point Studios. And about that, right? Just about that. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the 10. But about that, right? We just like, yo, Capcom literally just made bank with RE9, which is PC by like, I'm gonna put Sony out to the side for a second, but with PC alone, they're flat out saying, yo, they're about to start prioritizing PC low key because just how their sales have been growing. And it kind of brings back that rant that I made a long time ago. That rant I said, listen, Sony needs to stop trying to just like cater to people. And Blaze even said this on Solidcast. Sony needs to stop trying to cater to people and just go back to making fun and engaging, cool fucking games. That's what Sony needs to do. That's the mentality people want from PlayStation. They want that type of PlayStation back. Go back to taking risks. Go back to making the games that made people fall in love with the hardware. Go back with that style of game. You have tons of games at your roots you're not pulling from, but you keep trying to you keep trying to print money with the same 3 studios. Like, bro, if I see Last of Us one more time, bro, I'm choking somebody. I'm not even kidding. Nobody cares anymore about Last of Us. Nobody even gives a shit about the fucking TV show. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about a Horizon or Horizon TV show. And bruh, don't get me started what they did to God of War. Look what they did to my mans, bro. Don't get me fucking started. I swear to God, I will crash out on this fucking stream. Do not get me started. Where the fuck is that shit at? Where's it at? Hold on. Where the fuck is it? No, that ain't it. Where the fuck is it? I had that shit on my screen. Where the fuck are you? Where are you? Here we go. Ryan Hurst. Look what they did to my man, bro. Look what they did to my mans, bro. Bro, this is criminal. What they did to my mans. Here we go. That's the picture. This is criminal. Look what they did to Kratos, bro. It's criminal. Bro, this is criminal. He said Timo Kratos. Now that's funny. But I'm saying a lot of dumb decision making in regards to PlayStation has led a lot of people to feel the way I feel. Let me see here. Is there another one? Yeah, I think it was. Sorry about that. Give me a second. We got another super chat from Kyle901, $5 super chat. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. You stagger releases on PC, yet expect big profits. Expect big profits. You make all these investments on PC just to back out only to single. And and here's the thing too. Yeah, like I just said, back to my point. All the fucking catering that they've done, right? All the pampering and all the the setup for PC gaming. Like, bro, you would think PC gamers were, and the crazy thing is too, even with me saying what I'm saying, right? PC gamers technically do still have all the benefits of a PS5, but the thing is, it's at a fraction, if not at zero cost as it currently stands. Because look at it right now. We don't have to pay. We have to pay for online. PC gamers don't have to do this shit. They have PSN integration with Steam. They have trophy support into Steam. They got Windows support. The fucking DualSense Edge and the DualSense controllers are now 1000% compatible with PC, taking advantage of all the features. They just came out with speakers. Guys, remember that? People said I was crashing out about over 3D audio. The speakers have given everything. They literally catered to PC all the way. So it's so weird to see this decision. But again, Sony just likes to do this. And I have a big fear about this, and I don't know how you guys might feel about it, but a lot of people brought this up. They definitely, VR too, but a lot of people are bringing this up, and I forgot all about it. Back in February, Sony said this. Sony, and it was stated that Sony can offset the pricing of the Ryzen RAM cost by monetizing the PS5 install base. Now, we heard this before. We actually heard this before a while back when it was quote unquote the tariffs. But for those of you that remember, we've been talking about price increases long before we ever got a tariff. I'm just saying, it's a lot of stuff to take into account. Some people believe that they're doing this just because they got to make that money back. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about it. Shout out to Blaze for the $10 super chat. All right, bro. He says he's at work. Hey, shout out to Blaze. You guys check out Solidcast. Appreciate you, bro. Game Live Studio again with the $2 super chat. Sony's franchises need to evolve fun gameplay. Yo, and I know they do. They do. And they had a studio that could have definitely brought the games back to the fun factor with, Blue Point Games. Blue Point Games is no more, and now we're going backwards instead of forwards. You have studios remaking games from the past instead of having a studio dedicated to that, and they build upon that with the future. You see what I'm saying? That was the strategy for the longest time. That's why I always looked at Blue Point Games as like a big central part. And that's why that closure still hits hard to this day. That studio should have already survived everything. Out of all studios to close, that studio should have survived. It did not survive. Says Sony has waved goodbye to China. Oh, because that was the talking point people were saying. Oh, they're just trying to do it for China. No, they were doing that to reach everybody with their PC releases. Yote will be on PC this holiday. Mark my words. And we'll see. We'll definitely see. I want to see how much they keep to this word that they're not going to release games, quote unquote, to PC. I really want to see how they do it, because you don't invest this amount of money. You don't hire this amount of people. You don't hire strategic multi-platform specialists, right, to just go and pull a plug like this. You know what I'm saying? That's why it just felt so abrupt. I know a lot of people were shocked. I didn't say much in regards to this when the news and the rumors started to happen, but I was like, bro, I need confirmation on this one. This is one of those things where this sounds a little too good to be true type of thing for a lot of people, but also it's a lot of questions, than answers. Like, for example, where does Nixus go from this point? That was one of their biggest acquisitions, was Nixus. Where does Nixus go from this point forward? Where do they go? What does Sony do with Nixus? If you think Nixus is going to make some games, they don't make games. They port games. That is the point of the studio, is to port your library. It's like, I don't understand that. So they closed Nixus. Okay, they closed Nixus. Interesting. Sony has to be dumb to not put games on PC, and I'm talking all of it. And, again, people bring up the fact that these games didn't sell crazy well. The reason why a lot of these games did not sell crazy well, these games were old as hell, and they were charging you full price for them. You can't charge full price for a game that came out 4 years ago and expect the people to just jump in arms and buy it. In fact, there's an old saying, and those you 90 kids know exactly what I'm talking about, but never pay full price for late pizza. I'll just put it like that. I know exactly where I got that from, but again, never pay full price for late pizza. Never do that, brother. Never. Rambling Gaming, shout out to you, brother. Or Rambling Entertainment, excuse me. I'm sure I said Rambling Gaming. Said, damn, I need to go back to Capcom games for benchmarking my GPU. Prepare for more closures, and Nixus isn't one of them. He says more closures, and Nixus ain't one of them. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. What's up, Severance? But this decision, bro. I'm just scratching my head like, yo, okay, so what's next? What happens next? What are we gonna do after this? What does Sony do after this? Well, we'll see. Wolverine, we know Wolverine's gonna be a massive seller. The people who doubted Insomniac Games, they're gonna hype it up as per usual. But there's a problem with Sony going back to this, going backwards instead of forwards. One of my biggest complaints and one of my biggest pushes for Sony just to go ahead and just embrace PC gaming was a simple fact. The reason why we even got to that door to begin with is because those games did not sell. A lot of those games did not sell. A good example of this is Returnal. A lot of people were saying, Returnal's too hard. It's too hard of a game. This game ain't it. It's too hard. The game is it's not doing all this stuff. People even came at me who defended the damn game before, when I had my harsh criticisms about the game on how well it was going to do because of public perception. And people like, oh, this game's going to do great, Big Cloud. You don't know what you're talking about. Literally, the game comes out and does 700K. I played this game from start to finish on this damn channel and not only beat the damn story, I go on and platinum the damn game. And people are like, oh, well, Big Cloud just hated on the game. No, I gave it a shot. Loved the game. It brought back that old school joy of play. But what I like about, what I find interesting about the situation in regards to Returnal, right? Sony just flat out put Sorrows in the same predicament as Returnal. Now, I don't know how many people are on board with Sorrows. I'm day one. I don't know about y'all. Y'all day one in the chat? Let me know if you're day one in the chat for Sorrows. I'm day one for Sorrows. I am day one. I didn't have to see gameplay to know I was day one for that game. I'm day one in it. But I ain't gonna hold you. The days of just going like, us going back to that mindset of just having to rely on a group of people who don't buy shit as it is. Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. The game, crazy how Returnal peaked at 700K. Then when it went to PC, it hit over 1 million. Granted, didn't do 3 or 4 million, but again, it's an old game. People are not gonna pay full price for old shit. You got to strike when the iron is hot. Helldivers is a prime example of this. And just look at what happened with Resident Evil. Resident Evil is another prime example of striking when the iron is hot. It's prime and simple. So, it's crazy. It really, really is crazy that we've gotten to this point. It really, really is. I have a lot to say on it, but it's like, dog, everything we went through. And now it just brings you back to the point, 6 years, okay? All this, 6 years of going through all this. You catering to PC gamers, you pushing PlayStation gamers aside, you treating the PlayStation in general, like not necessarily as like not, I don't even say they treated the PlayStation bad, right? It was more or less just the content that was supposed to come out of this box. You know what I mean? We were being played for suckers. We were just like given just like the most bare minimum shit. And they were dangling in front of our face like they were keys. Like, hey, accept this while we go all in and do all this for PC. Meanwhile, PC gamers don't have to pay for all this. We're getting upcharged in prices for controllers and all this shit. And more than likely, with this news happening, we'll probably get more of that same particular issues happen when they eventually go and try to monetize everything. Yes, I seen that shift up. The developers for Stellar Blade, they moved on from PlayStation. They're not going to be single player, or they're not going to be bought or anything. They legit went full on, So it's crazy. What up, Aaron? I see you, brother. What's going on? Big Cloud. Because of the crap Sony pulled with Stellar Blade, Shift Up is trying to self-publish for this year. And you know what? What does that tell you? What does that tell you, Sean? Just think about it. Just really think about it. It took how long for Stellar Blade to hit, 2 million on PS5? How long did it take that game to hit that? Whereas on PC, it already had 1 million sales within 24 hours or the first week. You see what I'm saying? There's more money in multi-platform. That's where this industry has been telling us and been leading to. That's why it's like, yo, I don't get why you would go backwards. Just go forward. Just rip the Band-Aid off. I've been saying just rip the fucking Band-Aid off. Some people are like, oh, don't do that. Go back to the old regime. Well, we go back to the old regime that got us down to the door. That we just apparently closed, right? Where studios are going bye-bye to the point where now, they want to charge us more because they're not selling as much. It's like, it was like a give and take. Because the studios don't sell more, they charge more. And guess what? When you ask for more money, what happens, people? The magnifying glass gets what? Bigger. People look and see, what exactly am I paying more for? I said that about games going up from 60 to 70. And look at the predicament that we are now. Now we got games going from $70 to $80. God forbid when PS6 drops and games are looking at $90 price tag. Do y'all see where this shit's going? Y'all see this pattern? It's like, bro, let the stupid shit go. Let the fanboy shit go. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it at all. Go back to just playing the fucking games. Have fun. I see people on Twitter celebrating that these games are going back to being, single player, exclusive, whatnot. But if we fast forward to last year when we had that interview with Herman Holtz and Nishino, when they flat out said, yeah, they basically essentially told you that they're multi-plat. You had dudes immediately go and wave the white flag and say, I don't care about exclusive. It doesn't matter. All I care about is Sony making the games that I like. And I was like, bro, that's the mentality that I got no issue with. You might as well go back to that mentality. But again, they going back to this. They going right back down to this shit. Hey, listen, if you want to do that, go for it. Diminishing results, if it happens, if the diminishing returns do happen, it happens. But it's like, bro. Says return to golden era. I don't know, man. I believe that when we actually get releases that determine that this is the return to golden era. Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of the PlayStation releases or the lack thereof tell me the opposite of this being a golden era. The over-reliance on third party, especially for these showcases, is also a very clear message There's only one studio out of all these studios from PlayStation that is actively giving us games, and many people still to this day do not want to call that studio what it is, and that's an S-tier studio. You know what studio that is? Insomniac Games. Just remember that. Just remember that. Before y'all say this is a return to the golden era of anything, there's only one studio, one, that's actively, keyword, actively giving us multiple games this generation. Sony Santa Monica is up there as well with, obviously, Housemarque with their new IP. We got more TV shows than anything. Oh, that's facts. They carried this generation. They absolutely carried this generation. No ifs or buts about it. Let's see here. I'm going to go back for a second here because some news came out in the midst of this too. I mean, it was a lot of news, man. A lot of news that just made me scratch my head because we've been talking about Cory Barlog's game for a while, you know, just in the midst of this too. I'm just going to tag this in here because this also plays a factor. But we've been talking about Cory Barlog for the longest time. Like, yo, what is Cory Barlog working on? And keep in mind, Cory Barlog talked about he wanted to make stuff like, you know, like a Mandalorian game. He wanted to make, you know, like a Silent Hill, you know, type of game. Like he was talking about this. So everybody was like, okay, it's gonna be a new IP. A lot of talks about it. And then like literally the main game that he ends up coming out with is the same God of War game. Only this time, instead of you playing as Kratos, you're playing as Faye. For those of you that don't know who Faye is the wife of Kratos or the mother of Atreus in the new Norse mythology for Kratos. And she's the one who gave Kratos the Leviathan axe. Again, okay, again, I'm not mad at it, but I was expecting more. I was expecting them to go forward, not backwards. You know, I low key thought it was going to go back. I was going to go forward, not back. But that's what they did. That's what they did. They're going back to that, and they're going with Faye being the main protagonist. Personally, I already know gameplay wise, it's probably gonna be cool. It's probably gonna be a lot of sorcery and whatnot because we know she's powerful. We just didn't. I don't remember how she died. Maybe you guys remember how she died. Maybe she died of sickness. I don't remember, but that's what they're gonna do for that. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle that particular thing when it comes to Faye and her being, you know, getting her own game. Okay, cool, no issues. Moving on from that. But man, this, we'll see. Shout out to my boy No Envy. You've been a channel member for 60 damn months. Yo, shout out to you, my brother. Thank you. Shout out to you. So Insomniac's been carrying this generation. Facts. Absolutely carried this generation. Without question, they carried this generation. Let's see. They tried multi-plat. They barely sold 10% on PC. What they sold just on PlayStation. You know why? Because they didn't strike when the iron is hot. You can't release games old. Like, you can't release games, like, well past the fucking hype train and expect the same results. It doesn't work like that. Not with PC gamers. It doesn't work like that. Dudes thought, you know, PC gamers were going to accept the login thing. I told y'all they weren't going to accept the login. It was going to get reversed. People said I was crazy. It got reversed. They literally catered to the PC community. Everything they wanted, they got. Everything. All they were asking for was just them to go ahead and just, you know, treat the, you know, just go all in like you do with the PlayStation. And guess what? The money would have racked up. I know Sony is literally, despite this announcement, you know Sony is clenching their fist, probably punching air. Somebody at PlayStation is punching air after seeing just how fast Capcom blew up, in a sense, with RE9. RE9 is a testament of striking when the iron is hot, but also a testament of making a fun game that is intriguing and engaging. That is the shit that sells. That's what people want. And there are tons of games that Sony had that they let slip or have canceled that fit the mold of, you know, engaging games. Even if you didn't like Last of Us Part 2, right? Last of Us Factions 2 had its own separate story, its own separate characters. That's something that could have turned, you see what I'm saying, into that type of thing. That's why I was saying, like, yo, they screwing up. Why are you not striking when the iron's hot? Go all in. Just do it. It's not, you're killing yourself. You're killing yourselves. They didn't. Just popped in, so it's official that they won't do PC anymore for their game. So live service games will happen, but again, live service game. We look at the lineup of games for PlayStation so far, right? We know for a fact we have Wolverine, we have Sorrows, we have Marathon live service, we have Fair Games live service, we have the Hunters Gathering game live service. We have, I feel like I'm missing one more game that's live service, or maybe not. But yeah, that's technically the library right now for games on PlayStation for a while. So those 3 games that I just mentioned, the Hunter's Gathering, the Fair Games, and Marathon, those games will still go to, obviously, PC. The single player side of things, though, the 2 right here, Sorrows and Wolverine, apparently will not. What's crazy about that decision, though, if y'all remember when Sorrows first officially got its like gameplay reveal, Nix's was like the first one to comment saying, "Hey guys, we got big updates for this game, letting you guys know that," you know what I'm saying? So that you're gonna get it on PC. So it kind of is like, yo, I kind of feel like, yo, we probably were at the door of day-and-date release, but then they decided to go and say, no, we're not gonna do it. But again, the way the people are reacting to this and the way Sony is just kind of like grasping in a sense, in terms of like going, yeah, we're not doing it. It's like, bro, this is an issue clearly on your end. You guys are not taking full advantage of what you're giving. You're giving easy layups. You know what I'm saying? They're giving you easy, crazy layups to just make the money, and you're not doing it. It blew my mind this generation for that. PS5 firmware is out now. They'll be emulating soon. Don't start. Don't start. Don't start. Don't start with that shit. Oh, God. It's bad enough they believe all PlayStation games were pirated on PC. I can tell you right now that's false. No. Everybody thinks PC games are all pirated. Now, I'll say this with confidence. That's if a PC gamer even gave a shit to pirate a game. But the only studio I would know for a fact somebody would fucking pirate is that damn what's that studio made that studio that just made that terrible Dino Crisis game? Was it Team Kill Media? Is that the name of it? Yeah, if any game's getting pirated, it's they shit. Man, listen. Imagine paying fucking $70 to $80 for that shit and then actually having the nerve to go on social media saying it's a good game. That shit looked like an acid flip times 50. You know what it looked like? It looked like that Dino Crisis that remake shit y'all remember that? That Dino Crisis remake shit that I streamed on this very fucking channel. It was made by one fucking person, mind you, too. But that fucking remake is available only on PC. That's exactly what that shit reminded me of. And people were capping for like, oh, this shit's fire. You guys are hating on a good game. I'm like, bruh. They're like, oh, it's only 3 developers or 4 developers or 5 or 10 developers made this game. I'm like, bro, y'all do realize that Cuphead was made by fucking 4 people, right? Y'all notice that, right? Y'all do realize that, right? Cuphead was made by 4 fucking people. 4 people make Cuphead. Oh, shit, boy. I tell you. Yeah, Code Violet. Get that shit out of here. But that shit was, oh, my God. That was so bad. That was so fucking bad. And people cap for it. Mumble and Ranting Gamer. Yo, shout out to you. Another one. That's another elite right there. 60 months support. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Says Big Cloud, only Insomniac holding fort past 5 years, huh? Yeah. Shout out to Insomniac, man. God bless Insomniac. People don't even appreciate him. Let's see here. Severance Evans, 41 months of support. That's a platinum tier. Shout out to my brother Severin Evans. Yo, appreciate you. Y'all all the channel members. He says, well, if PlayStation went to PC because they weren't getting enough money to appease shareholders before, I'm not sure what they expect now. If anything, it's speeding up their demise at this point. Hey, he going there. He hit him with that one. Shout out to Cole. What's up, Cole? $5 super chat from Rambling. Shout out to my boy Rambling Entertainment. He says it's not just late games. Halo Master Chief Collection had no issue selling games for Sea of selling games, excuse me. Same for Sea of Stars, GT7 wouldn't have a problem, and Helldivers 2 neither if it came out late. Yeah, no, like I saw somebody bring up Spider-Man 2 not doing crazy well on PC, but if a lot of people miss out the one biggest caveat about Spider-Man 2 that released on PC, the game was broken at launch. I know a lot of y'all remember that. It was broken at launch. It was glitched out the fucking mind. I don't know how it was clearly rushed. Obviously, they clearly rushed the Spider-Man 2 port. It should have just been made co-developed with the release of the PS5 version just to avoid all that. But again, nope, they literally speed rushed it, which is weird. Game Live Studios, basically Sony boxed themselves in a corner. Yeah, we're literally back to square one. We're literally back to square one with Sony and going that. So, hey, we'll see how it goes. My brother TX Gamer, what's going on? What's good? He said, opens door. Yo, brother. Oh, God. I hit him with that damn, hey, TX, where you been? You know what TX going to say to me? He going to hit me with that damn quote from that god-awful movie. He going to be like, I've been busy. Shout out to TX Gamer. But nah, man. Sony doing this, man. Listen, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how long it lasts. I just find it because, like, if you're done with something, then you pull everything from everybody knows this. It's common sense. If you truly are done with something, you pull all the plugs. You pull it all out the way. Because I'm telling you right now, if PlayStation dudes ain't buying no damn these live service games, what makes you think the PC community is going to buy these live service games, especially if they're not good live service games? Just keep that in mind. I think this should be a message, though, to PlayStation, especially with RE9, and I think RE9 needs to be looked at as a staple. If you're going to make games, aim for the fun factor, not the monetization. Go all in for the fun factor, and the game more likely will sell. Go for fun, engaging games. Nobody cares about the projection of monetization. Go all in and make fun, engaging games. Hopefully, we go back to that. Because, man, the fact that IO Interactive made an Uncharted game before Sony for this generation, yo, that's criminal. Come on, y'all seen that 007? I know y'all all in for 007. Y'all all in. 007 is basically the closest we got to Uncharted 5. I'm not even bullshitting you. That is like the closest to Uncharted 5, an official Uncharted 5. And that shit look fire. I can't wait to play that. But it is what it is. Ramblin' Entertain, games have also been left in the dust by the previous entries on the PS5 as well. Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2 didn't sell as much as 2018 games. Facts. Sean says, Big Cloud, nothing will change much if they don't change the management. I agree with that. Nice side for PlayStation games are now free on PC. You fucking sick. You're sick. I know what you're saying. You're sick. I ain't gonna say it though. What's 7 Evans bid? I have a genuine question. Do you really think stopping PC ports will sell more exclusives for them now when it wasn't working before? I don't see it happening personally. I think a good example the best example of that, Severance, will be Saros. If Saros does 5 times better than what Returnal did, then we might be on to something. You see what I'm saying? If that does 5 times better, then we'll see. But I'm going to keep it a buck with you. We've already had polls already come out and multiple, information come out in regards to these games. Less and less people are buying games. And it is not just because a lot of the games feel the same. It ultimately came down to pricing. You know what I'm saying? They're asking for more money. So, it's just that, man. It's just the facts. It's just that. Less and less people are buying shit because, like, dog, why would you buy this? Why? Why would you buy this, When you guys slop, and I'm sorry, I don't like to use the word slop at developers, but I don't consider these guys developers. I consider them scammers, and that is Team Kill Media. When you have slop from Team Kill Media being charged to you for $80, and you got grown-ass men defending that shit because they want to, quote-unquote, get connections with people like that, you're fucked up. The industry's fucked. you you know the industry's fucked when you have shit like that. I'm just saying. Yeah, Nomi said Double S on the fire. Hell yeah. Sony saw they were small fish on PC and that shook them. The thing is though, they could be more. You know what I'm saying? You already know this. They could be so much more on PC, but they're just not embracing it. They're just screwing it up. They're throwing away what essentially is free money. You know, they're throwing that away. Now again, people might be saying, "Oh, not all money is good money." But again, here's my take to that. You can say not all money is good money, but at the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, these damn studios are dropping like flies in the PlayStation camp. We can't underlook that. We have said bye-bye to more studios and games than we've ever had in the history of PlayStation. And it only continued to go. Shit, y'all see what happened? What was that game called? High Guard? Yeah, I see what the fuck that just happened, so we'll see. We'll see how it happens, man. We'll see. Bad Bolo, what's up? I feel like gaming is going to go into a very weird direction soon, and I'm not okay with it. No, I agree. Gaming right now? Pfft, shit. Motherfuckers talking about, hey, yo, Big Cloud, get a PS5 Pro. You know what I'm saying? Come back. You know, just get a Pro. I'm like, bro, I'm good with the Pro, man. I ain't gonna say nothing else on the Pro. I don't need a Pro, bro. I don't need it. I just don't need it. I'm sorry. I can't. If that was the case, I would just, which I'm about to do anyway. So I'm not with my rig, but still, nah, I don't need that. Michael Taylor. Shout out to Michael Taylor. $5 super chat. He says, how much does Wolverine have to sell to make a profit? Also, don't they have to give Marvel they cut? Well, yeah, these licenses are not getting any cheaper. And keep in mind, Marvel has been even more, I guess, probably more likely been asking for more because you know how bad they've been botching the MCU, the current MCU. So that is a good question, right? That's a great question. I personally, hard to say. You know, it's hard to say, to be honest with you. It's hard to say. I would say, to be safe, right? Anywhere over 10. If they sell over 10 million, we're good. You ain't gonna have no complaints from the shareholders. That's perfect. You know what I mean? Anything less than 10, probably people will have some cause for concern, and you'll have people say, oh, it's going to be superhero fatigue. But it's like, no, it's not superhero fatigue. It's just like, yo, just make fun games, make great games, and you'll get the benefits. Like, I still stand by what I said beforehand, especially after playing Astrobot. Y'all remember that shrink ability you can do with Astrobot? I was like, bro, why isn't nobody capitalizing on shit like this and just making Ant-Man, from the MCU? Why not just do some crazy shit like that? Go crazy, have fun, take risks. And to be fair, we did see a risk like that. I think it was last generation with Guardians of the Galaxy. But Guardians of the Galaxy, for what I remember, it didn't have crazy marketing in terms of how they handled it. So that game just flopped. Or it didn't do crazy numbers. No, it is what it is. Let's see. Hold on. Bayron, what's going on? Big Cloud, the only way this move will work if they get off their laurels and make good games again. The PS2 and PS4 generation are the best examples. No, I agree. There was more risk and there was more reward because they were being very creative. I agree. Sony and Bungie Better Hope Marathon is a commercial hit. Yo, here's the thing about this too, Envy. So yeah, I agree. No, it has to be a commercial hit because they spent over $3 billion into that studio. Now, from what I heard, people are liking the game. Like it went from just being like a 50-50 like split type of reaction to now kind of like a 1/3 type of thing. Like you have one side that says, oh yeah, they did enough, it's cool. You have another side that says, yeah, I like it, it's better, but it still needs content. You know what I mean? It still needs this, that, and the third. And then you have the other side that just flat out hates it, that doesn't like it. Me personally, I'm not a fan of the art style. I don't really care for it. I'm not big in Destiny, so it's not for me. And I can admit that, so I'm okay with admitting that. It's just not for me. But if you like that sort of game, then sure, you got it. It's for you if you like that. So we'll see. Think about these live service games. These companies don't seem to understand is you are competing with all the others and not that many of these big service games can exist at the same time. No, I agree. It's a good point. Good point. 30% for a sale and a minimum of 5 to 6 million between PlayStation and PC when the Insomniac leak. Wait, but here's the thing too. Maybe you guys can help me out here, but unless they removed it from the internet, which would have been crazy. But isn't Wolverine technically playable on PC? But it's the hacked, it's the leak stuff. Didn't they already kind of like been playing that on PC? So the reason why I'm bringing this up, right, and I hope this isn't the case where people go to the extreme of being petty, because remember the studio was hacked. All right, just remember that the studio was hacked not too long ago, and a lot of the stuff, like scenes behind this, like all that stuff was literally, removed, like just it happened. So I'm wondering, I'm just wondering, like, would somebody be petty enough to go to the extreme of actually, going and fucking spoiling this game? I hope that's not the case. I hope we don't have another Last of Us situation and the game gets spoiled. I hope not. I really hope nobody does that to be petty. But yeah, no. High guard was DOA the moment it was shown. The thing about these live service games, I think I already answered that. I said that one. He says yes, they have Biggie Butters. I don't know what your comment was about that. Okay. Yeah, no. He said the only thing they got at least a bit interesting is Saros. Yeah. I mean, aside from Wolverine, I'm all in for Wolverine. That's going to be great. I despise superhero stuff. I don't like GTA. I like Western and JRPGs. Also, you're more like a Red Dead guy. I got you. You like that Red Dead and them JRPGs. I got you. Them Final Fantasies. Well, you had a lot of that this generation. Final Fantasy related content. So you ate good this generation. In fact, if you're a Souls player, you ate good this generation, regardless of Blue Point not being able to make Bloodborne and everything of that nature. We still got Elden Ring and everything of that nature. So we ate good for Souls like content creators. You ate good. But still, I know a lot of you still wanted more out of this console race. So. Oh, so I was agreeing with you with Marvel screwing out the MCU. I mean, yeah, because like think about it, Biggie. Are you even excited? Is anybody in this chat really excited for Doomsday? The new Marvel Doomsday with Robert Downey Jr. coming back to play Victor Doom. Are y'all even excited for that? Are y'all interested in that type of shit? Me personally, I feel like it's a cop-out. A lot of the shit that they're doing with this is a cop-out. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not really... They're basically admitting that they failed. They're not, going with the new characters that they tried so hard to establish. No, they're going back to people that they loved. The fact that Captain America, the OG Captain America, is back, bruh. That should tell you all you need to know about how they feel about my man, what's the name, who plays Sam. That should tell you that. So it's like, bro, they trying to do a reset, but it's like you can't really reset what you've done. If you reset that, then guess what? You're gonna have to find a way to reset and bring Thanos back. And low key, that would be the biggest cop out I ever thought about seeing if they actually find a way to bring Thanos back in the midst of Doom doing his master plan of quote unquote destroying the multiverse. So I don't know. But we already know how Doom's going to look in the movie pretty much. It's probably more likely, like the Doom armor, it's just probably going to be like a more crazier, advanced Iron Man suit. That's just how they're going to flip it. So, we shall see. But he didn't look jacked, though. And, I don't want to spoil it, but watch Fantastic Four if you know what I'm talking about. If y'all seen the remake of Fantastic Four, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it. Expedition 33, The GOAT. Oh, yeah. Game did really, really well. Endgame was the MCU peak. Oh, bro, absolutely. I checked out the MCU after Endgame in 2019. Or checked out of it, yeah. No, it's, we all did, technically. We all thought it was over. They didn't need to make any more. The what if stuff, okay, we thought that was cool. Then we had WandaVision show. I thought that was cool. That was actually creative. But then we started noticing a pattern. A lot of these shows were just, granted they were on par with the movies, but a lot of these shows started to not make sense. They really pissed me off personally with Secret Invasion. I was expecting so much out of that, and Secret Invasion ended up being not even close to what it should have been. So that happened. I need some villainous movies. Tired of these same old Yeah, saying that. Yeah, no, I agree. They did Daredevil great. Daredevil was good. But they kind of botched his introduction to the MCU with the She-Hulk show. She-Hulk was She-Hulk was cool for like a couple episodes. Then it just kind of like, yeah, I kind of was like, yeah, nah, I checked out of She-Hulk. I couldn't. How they gonna reset Star Wars? Well, if you remember, I think her name's was it Kathleen Kennedy. She's no longer a part of the team. She's done. They cut her loose, and a lot of like the fan theory type of videos. You see, this is why things are just gone. Well, you already know things are gone up, but AI is such a crazy thing. Like dudes are making fan theory, videos and all that stuff. All that stuff, you're seeing them do it with no issues. So it's like, that's what's going on. But as far as like them resetting it, that is a good question. I don't know how they would necessarily do it because, a lot of the OG cast is officially dead. So I don't know. We already know what's the name ain't ever coming back. Who plays Mark Hamill's never coming back to play Luke Skywalker. He's not doing it. He's not ever doing that again. Hayden, aka Darth Vader, he might come back for something, but they ain't gonna waste no time on Hayden. If they were smart, they should have did with that Vader show, with that Obi-Wan show with Vader. They could have just explored the origins of Vader after him getting burnt. Those would have been more better for TV shows, aside from the little lore thing they did with Obi-Wan. But that's just me. That's just how I feel on that. Theory said Bloodborne was denied probably because From Software wanted it everywhere, and Sony possibly wanted it as a timed contract. I wouldn't be opposed to agree with that. Maybe, but from what I've heard and from what the industry, from what we've been told, right? Sony is the one who pitched it. Sony, with Bluepoint all on board to do it. So, and keep in mind, this is before the internal quote unquote decision to reverse everything, so to speak. So odds are they probably were still going to, they probably were going to open it to everybody regardless. But again, from what we heard from Miyazaki, he said, I think it came down to, he said something about politics or some shit like that. He's like, he didn't want to do it. So it is what it is. It is what it is, man. This information, though, like, again, the way things are gone, hey, we'll just see, man. We'll see as the coming weeks go. He said, delete Marvel. What's up, low expectation? Delete Marvel. Yeah, delete. But we'll see, man. We'll see how it all goes, man. Right now, as it currently stands, I really ain't got nothing to say. On this one. I just don't. There's a lot of questions, more questions than answers. But we'll see. Will Sony stay true with this? Only time will tell. But there you go. That's all I really got to say on this situation. All right. So let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Everybody watching this afterwards. Anybody got any questions for me? I've been spending time playing PS2. Oh, okay. Okay, you went back. You went to OG. But yeah, anybody got any questions in the chat? Go ahead. Ask away. Why wrap this one up? You got any questions? I know a lot of y'all are just like, yeah, we'll see what's up. We'll see how they handle it. It's crazy because I remember the Jason Schreier post before we got this one. It said that expect games that are already contracted to still go on, obviously on PC or whatnot. But again, it looks like that. I don't know. It's just weird. It looks like that might not happen either. So I don't know. So, but we'll see. Let's see. Honestly, I've been spending more time either gaming, watching anime, or catching up on older stuff. I never got around to seeing the majority of the new stuff. Is uninteresting. Okay. Been spending time. Well, you said Ryan, bro. Not surprised. Haven't played COD since December. Oh, you moved away from the COD curse? Ah, damn, look at you. You moving up. The real test will be if Astrobot hasn't come to PC by September. I don't think Astrobot would. To be honest with you, that's the only game out of all the games that Sony dropped that I always thought would kind of be tied to console. The reason why, it's not that like I was opposed to it. It's just Astrobot goes like hand in hand, you know what I mean, with just PlayStation in terms of like the way they do it. It's kind of like a tech demo. It's like it's like a game within itself, making like, you know, in regards to your console. So that's how they always did it. It was like, you know, it's like one of those goofy, creative ways to like make the PS5 more, you know, appealing, or not appealing, but, you know, like friendly, I guess you can say, to the users. That's why they did all that crazy stuff. It is, don't get me wrong, it is cool what the DualSense can do, but it's like all these features that Astrobot is showing off, these developers do not give a shit about. Like haptic triggers, we're lucky if haptic triggers even get full advantage taken, you know, advantage of. Like we're lucky we see that. We don't get the full bells and whistles of it. We get the opposite. Let's see. That one is on like, yeah. Astrobot is to Sony is like Mario to Nintendo, literally. Yeah, no, it is. It literally is their Mario. That's one game that I wouldn't think ever would go. Okay, Faded Blazes, I got a question. What's up? Now I get what you're saying, but this is trying to be a whole reboot of the series. For what? The devs were asking if PC players wanted it on PC before the game even needed. Oh, really? I don't even remember that. The announcement from PC, is it possible that the announcement hints that there will be less single-player games coming out in general? We already know 3 coming. That's a good question. I mean, this is what we know of so far, right? We know Sony Santa Monica is making a God of War game, right? But keep in mind, the God of War remake trilogy, which is what they're working on, that game is in early development. They flat out told you. And TC Carson is redoing the voice work for those games, which already has a lot of people worried because they also came out and said that new gameplay mechanics are going to be implemented into that game along with a new camera system. So a lot of people are kind of worried on whether or not they're going to, you know, change the overall formula altogether and make it more, you know, in line with what God of War 2018 is doing, right? So that game is definitely going to take a minute. Aside from that game that we know for a fact is, you know, that was early development. So far, again, single player wise, Sorrows and Wolverine. That's all we got. That's all we got. Sons of Sparta, the little side scroller joint. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I see people liking it. I don't. I don't know about that one, but yeah, a lot of people say they like it. I don't. I'm not with it. I saw shout out to David Jaffe. David Jaffe's been going through all the stages of either grief or misery this entire week. I don't know if y'all caught on to it, but Jaffe's been going through it, boy. He went through it this fucking week. That man went off. They even made an article about him because he talked about the live action Kratos, you know, Ryan Hurst, who ironically plays Thor in the video game. So I don't know. Hold on. Let me keep it going here. Hold on. Hey, Big Law, hope you're well, bro. Quick question. If Xbox decides to take away the PC Online multiplayer paywall to shake things up, how do you think Sony will respond? It's a good question. Will Sony continue to charge us online if Microsoft removes the one thing? Just remove, like, it would be poetic justice, right? Because you remember Microsoft is the one who introduced that into gaming. And then y'all remember the damage control back then was like, yo, PSN, it sucks because, you know, it's free and ours is better because we have to pay for it. We have more quality of an online experience. And if y'all remember, during that entire, you know, dialogue that was going around, that's when Sony got hacked and their PSN was down for like a while. So it would be poetic justice if they would be the ones who ended the paywalls. But when Sony follows suit, it would technically it would have to be a lot of factors for Sony to actually consider it. Will they do it? I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt they will make it like a requirement because you know, they're charging you for basic shit like, you know, your fucking your cloud saves, for God's sakes. I don't think they would remove it, to be honest with you. I think that would still be there. I used to check DMs. Okay, I got you. No lie, but I want to fight Hades with the over-the-shoulder center. Really? You want to fight Hades with that? I mean, you're right. That would be more personal, but I feel like if they did that, I don't know, it'd take away from the spectacle of that particular fight. You know, Hades had all the soul-like powers and all that stuff, especially with Poseidon, with the water, how well that looked on PS3. Oh, that might take away from that type of experience. But I don't know. It could be more engaging, but I think we all can agree in this chat right now. Do not expect certain scenes in this God of War remake. I have a feeling it's going to be censored. There's not going to be no Poseidon princess. Aphrodite's probably going to be censored to hell. I don't think she's going to have her infamous scenes. They probably going to have like that thing where it's like a dark filter. Because remember, she was like in that dark portion of her room with the bed. I guarantee you they're going to do something crazy like that to tone it down. NPCs who had, you know, the crazy jiggle physics. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I think those are going to be changed and not look the same, more than likely. A lot of that stuff's going to be changed, bro. A lot of stuff's going to be cut out. They'll probably make it more gorier because, you know, gore is not a problem with them. They never really shy away from gore. So Helios, his head getting ripped off, they might show, like, actual tendons snapping and blood. That'd be cool. But, you know, and Kronos getting his guts ripped out, you know, that'd be cool. Stuff like that you'll see, probably more likely. But anything else, though, I don't know. I don't think they would. I don't think they would fucking do it. So let me see here. You say you sent me a message. What is this? According to Circana, players' engagement tracker, 60% of U.S. active PlayStation users played Fortnite in 2025. The top single-player game was Marvel Spider-Man 2, which ranked at 28th at 9.9%. Sales of the consoles were never noticeably or significantly impacted by the PC releases existing, and Ghost of Yotei finished at number 11 in the tracked full game sales for the year in the U.S., so can't even say that assumed non-exclusivity hurt it either. Ultimately, the new shift won't really matter. Shout out to Rambling Entertain. Shout out to you for that one. I might use that. Low key. Thank you. Might use that. MBG, he says, PS5, Spider-Man 2 sales data might reveal Sony's pulling away. 700,000 on Steam. Now, this might sound crazy, right? This might sound crazy. But here's where this particular logic is flawed. He's missing out the fact that this game literally was broken at launch. he failed to realize that. Stellar Blade is a prime example of that being the opposite. But anyway, I'll let him cook on that. I'll just let him cook on that one. He can have that one. I'm actually excited for this. I'm resynced. I'm interested to see how they do it, but yeah, I gotta see that. But all right, though, that's all I really gotta say on it. I mean, like, look, in a sense, right? Like, it's a lot to take in, but again, we're here. We'll see how the industry goes. We'll see how PlayStation continues to move. But as far as it's concerned, they said no, and okay, they said no. I don't know how y'all feel about it. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but we'll see. Personally, I know a lot of PC gamers are not personally affected by the decision to release, to take their games off of PlayStation. I know a lot of you don't necessarily care. A lot of you just like, yo, we was like kind of doing y'all a favor, and I always figured that too. But as it currently stands, man, ultimately, Sony needs to learn from this and just put out good games. You put out good games, they sell. If not, don't expect every game you say or every game you drop to expect to sell game busters on anything. But we'll see. We'll see the PlayStation community returns to fold, so to speak, and buy it. I'm looking at Sorrows, though. I don't know about y'all on day one. I know you guys in chat see day one, so I'll be playing that. As far as me, I'm actually going to be gone because I leave. I'm going out of town. Like, I'm going out of the country on Sunday. So I'll be back next Sunday. So I'll be gone for a couple of days. Just want to go ahead and get that on record to everybody here. Everybody might ask, oh, where's Big Cloud? Well, I'm actually gearing up, about to be leaving. So I figured I'd just do this live stream just to make up for it. All right. But anyway, appreciate everybody. It was great to see everybody in the chat. And I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Definitely hit the like button if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate it. And, of course, share it around, all that junk. Until next time, we'll be back. Everybody for the super chats, all my channel members, I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. It's good to see everybody. And before I go, how you guys like this format? You guys like this format for online? Let me know in the chat before I go. Good to see you, TX. Oh, I got Tekken 8, TX, on PC or PlayStation. My PC was acting weird, so I had to download it on PlayStation. But yeah, I've been playing that too. If you want to play some Tekken 8. Said nothing of value lost. So, let's see. Rambling Entertainment say he likes it. Okay. Anybody else? What you guys think about this style of me going live? I'm going to add more. Don't worry. It's more stuff I'm going to be adding to this, but I'm just taking my time, getting ready, getting my thoughts going in terms of how I'm going to approach it. It's a lot more stuff I want to do in terms of that. Big Client, do you have any platinum? Or sorry, do you have the platinum trophy already? For which game? Right now I'm playing, I'm finishing up the slide joint. I hadn't had a chance to really finish it. I had all these damn doctor's appointments and shit for my eyes. So, but yeah, no, I'm finishing that up, and then I'm going to blitz the rest of it. Bet, just let me know. I had to put my controller in the show. Oh, yeah, for sure. I got you. Stick drift was bad in both of them. Why don't you just get up, bro? I got an edge, bro. I pulled the trigger on the edge. I thought all that shit about controllers, but I ended up buying an edge. I was like, bro, I ain't about to keep dropping $70 for these damn controllers. I'd rather just buy one and then be able to buy, replacement sticks. And that's really what I've been doing. So if I haven't had any issues with my DualSense Edge. I got the black edition, but it's really good. This is probably the best thing that they've dropped accessory-wise in a long, long time. So I've been rocking that, but I don't use that for fighting games. I use my actual arcade stick. But yeah, nah, for sure, I got you though. Yeah, I got it on console as well, Sean. So I went from Mighty Ruler on PC to now being rookie in console because I had to start all over on console. But yeah, I have it on console. If you guys want to play, message me. I got to get back into it for sure, and I'll do all that stuff. But yeah, for sure. I'm broke, and then an empty wallet. I feel you. I feel that. Well, anyway, thanks again for coming through. Hope you guys be good. I'll catch you guys on the next one, all right? I'm out of here. Peace.